Thank you for joining us, everyone. This is Susan. I'm going to talk about relationships after a brain injury, starting and talk briefly initially about the impact of brain injury on relationships and how family relationships can be affected after a brain injury, and then focus more on finding and maintaining relationships following a brain injury. So as we know, brain injuries can impact all aspects of a person's life, and many of these effects can have a significant impact on an individual's existing relationships or their attempt to develop new relationships. Some deficits which pose more of a specific threat to a person's existing or future relationships include decreased attention, memory, initiation, poor social communication skills, impaired speech, hearing deficits, visual deficits, impulsivity, and reduced ability to see another person's point of view. Many brain injury related deficits can cause a person to feel alone or lonely, even when they're surrounded by many other people. Some of these specific difficulties can include social communication deficits, and we'll talk more about these later on in more detail. Feeling self-conscious about what others may think of them, irritability or emotional regulation difficulties, fatigue and lack of energy, pain and physical challenges, inability to drive, limited social opportunities, and also other people, including family and close friends, often feeling uncomfortable around somebody following their brain injury. Much of the research out there focuses on the impact of brain injuries focusing on the impact of brain injuries on relationships specifically looks at marital relationships. Most of the data indicates that spouses caring for a partner with a brain injury experience more distress than those caring for spouses with other conditions. And that also shows that there's a higher rate of depression in the caregivers, so spouses who have brain injury. Some of the factors that they talk about which can relate to a marriage breakdown includes having a person experiencing neurobehavioral deficits, a short pre-injury relationship, and also the length of time since the injury. Some of the factors that did not seem to have any impact on the marital relationship is the severity of the brain injury, whether or not there's children within the relationship, and the gender and the age of the caregiver also don't appear to influence relationship breakdown. Studies have shown that in brain injury, when one parent is affected by a brain injury, that both parents' relationships with the children can be affected. And presumably this is due to the stress of the situation and the changes within the family roles and responsibilities. Parents who have the brain injury frequently report high levels of distress due to their fear of losing their relationship with their children. Parental brain injury doesn't just affect young children. It can also affect, there could be adult children of individuals who experience a brain injury later in life. And these adult children also experience significant distress and role disruption when faced with having to care for their adult parent with a brain injury. So I had mentioned previously about the change in roles and responsibilities following a brain injury. And within our society, we're very much defined by our roles, and in turn, our roles then define how we behave. When one spouse has a brain injury, both partners' roles are altered, and this can lead to increased stress in both individuals and also conflict between the two partners. Following a brain injury, partners often take on new roles with the expectation that they're going to be temporary, because recovery from brain injury is very uncertain and not able to predict with accuracy exactly how somebody's recovery will progress. So these partners, the caregivers who have taken on these new roles, initially believe that they may just be a temporary adjustment, but may learn 6 months, a year, 2 years down the road that actually it's not temporary and that this is their new normal, which can cause some stress with them as well. And as to be expected, the more significant the role change, the more difficult it is for individuals to adjust. So how do people deal with these role changes? We have a few tips for that. The big part is for both partners. If we're talking about a marital relationship, both parties being understanding of that person's new roles and responsibilities. And this may mean that having to accept that your partner who's taken on a role which you may have previously done isn't going to necessarily do things the way you do. And that's often the difficult thing for someone to be able to give up. Communication is really key. It's very important to talk to your partner about the challenges that you're experiencing having to take on those new roles and responsibilities. Also very important to say thank you. You really want to let your partner know that you're appreciating everything that they're doing to help with the recovery and with the new roles and responsibilities they're taking on. Also, can't be all work and no play. Really important to schedule breaks for both of you from the responsibilities that you've taken on and be able to spend some more quality time together. So we're going to move into talking more about finding and maintaining relationships. Snoopy here is indicating for us what makes the perfect friend. So how to lose a friend in 10 days, which after a brain injury can be pretty easy to do. Relationships are complicated under the best of circumstances. And when someone has a brain injury, it can seem like you've been dropped into a new world where you don't understand anyone else and they don't understand you. So these are some of the easy ways to be able to contribute to the loss of a relationship. So the first is always talking about your injury and how it's ruined your life. People who have a hard time listening when other people are speaking and being able to be that attentive conversation partner can be difficult. Interrupting people frequently will cause problems. Arguing and disagreeing with the person that you're talking to is not going to set a good tone. Having a hard time thinking about other people's needs and feelings, being very, very centered on your own needs and not recognizing that other people also have their own needs and feelings. Talking about yourself a lot. Nobody really wants to hear continuously about you, and you want to have some give and take in that relationship. Asking people very personal questions. Sometimes after a brain injury, that filter can be lost, have lots of holes in it, and people don't always recognize when they're crossing that boundary of asking questions, which may be inappropriate. Also inappropriate touching, hugging of people without first checking in to see that it's okay that you do that. That can be very off-putting to people. Again, back to the filter, saying the first thing that comes into your mind. We all have those thoughts that come to us about, oh my God, why is she wearing that sweater? I can't imagine why she would make that decision. Things that we all think in our heads just may not be the most appropriate thing to actually say out loud. Not listening to other people's advice or suggestions. If people are feeling that, Joe doesn't listen to 20 of my suggestions that I have for him anyways, even though he's been complaining about the same thing over and over again, they're eventually going to get tired of having to listen to those complaints when they feel that they're not able to contribute to a person's change or their recovery. And again, also just having trouble accepting people's offers of help. So you really want to be able to know that if it's somebody who really believes in you and cares about you and wants what's best for you, and they're trying to help you, but you're constantly shutting them down, then that can cause some problems as well. So on the flip side, how do we attract friends? What do we do in order to be able to help to foster those existing relationships and hopefully also build some new ones? Learning to laugh at yourself. It's really important to be able to recognize that all of us, brain injury or not, have our own challenges, and it's important to be able to laugh at that, sort of take things in stride. That's also really going to help to put people at ease around you, to know that it's okay for them as well to see the humorous side in things. Use healthy stress relievers such as meditation, relaxation, exercise. That those are positive things that we can do within our life to manage our stress. The not so positive things would be using alcohol, caffeine, smoking, drug use, food, and using all of those things inappropriately or in excess are going to push people away from you. Plan your activities for the day. It's very important after a brain injury to be very planful in your schedule and in your time. Develop a plan that's going to set yourself up for success and stick to that plan. Also, good to think about stopping while you're still feeling good. If you continue to push yourself beyond your planned stop time, then you're going to run into more difficulties with your fatigue, with your mood, and so you need to get out while the getting's good. Surround yourself with positive and supportive people. It's very important to have your own sort of cheerleading squad and people who are supportive of your recovery, and that's going to help to make you feel better as well. Avoid negative self-talk. That you want to, again, set yourself up for success, thinking within, trying to manage that negative self-talk is going to help to promote your ability to be open to new friendships and new experiences. Set expectations and goals and hopes for yourself and share them with others. When we've shared our goals and our hopes with others, that will do a few things. Number one, it's going to make us a little more accountable if we know that other people are aware of what we're hoping to do. And it's also going to allow other people to be able to support you. Remembering people's birthdays or important milestone events shows that you care, shows that you're a good friend. Smile. People who smile and appear friendly and open are going to attract many more friends. and put yourself out there. Going out to that social event may make you feel a little nervous or uncomfortable, but it's only through taking those chances and some of those calculated risks that you're going to be able to proceed to the next level of making more friends. So now that you've met a new person, what do you do to take that relationship from acquaintance to friends? You want to take the initiative and follow through. It's very easy for any of us to say, I'll call you, or we should get together for coffee, but it's really important to actually follow through on those suggestions or the plans that you make. One way to do that is to follow a 2-day rule. So follow up with your new acquaintance by email or phone within 2 days. Don't let it drag on, because then you're less likely to actually follow through. One of the ways to sort of take the pressure off when you're getting together with a new person is to plan an activity to do together. So going to a London Knights hockey game, for example, where there's lots of activity going on, there's other people around, there's something, you're watching the hockey game, that reduces the need to have, keep up that constant line of conversation. It makes it a little bit easier, and you also have that common interest to be able to talk about. Sometimes people after a brain injury have trouble getting out. So asking that person to come and visit you at home is always an option as long as you're feeling safe and comfortable with doing that. Embrace your fears and take a risk. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. You want to sort of at times step outside of your comfort zone. Again, just keeping in mind those safety concerns and taking smart risks. Don't let not having somebody available to go with you hold you back. If there's something going on that that you'd enjoy, like going to a sporting event, or if there's a community event going on, try to go on your own. You're more likely to meet someone who enjoys the same things, has the same interest in you, if you're doing something that you enjoy. So how do you meet people that you actually like and you want to hang out with? One of the ways, think about people who you like and admire. Who do you already know that you enjoy spending time with, or you would like to be able to spend time with because you think they seem like a great person? Think about what are their special qualities. How do they act? Which of those qualities do you already have, or what could you easily develop? Make a plan. Make a list of things that you enjoy doing and do them. Again, doing things that you enjoy gives you a chance to meet others who enjoy the same things. Doing a new activity is also a great way to meet other people. And most importantly, have confidence that you'll make someone a great friend. We had talked a little bit before about having positive and supportive people around you, and that's really important. Having people in your life who believe in you, who want to help you to be successful is really going to promote your recovery and help you work towards your goal of gaining and maintaining new relationships. Talking about some of the challenges that you're experiencing with someone who you trust, they can provide you with new suggestions that you may not have thought of. Your team can also gently point out some of the areas that you need to work on, which helps you to move forward in your recovery. And we know that it's always easier to sort of face your problems if you have other people around that are supporting you. And spending time with people you care for, who care for you, it can reduce your stress and your frustration. So following a brain injury, we know that it's often challenging for people from a financial perspective, and often don't have the money to be going out to concerts every weekend, going to Blue Jays game in Toronto. You want to look at some of the activities that you can do with other people that are either low cost or no cost. So sharing, articles or jokes that you enjoy, picking flowers or vegetables from your garden for somebody, baking them a cake or making them dinner, even inviting somebody to go for a walk or to share a picnic down at Springbank Park. These are all good things that are going to be enjoyable, and you can invite a person that you've just met to want to be able to build that relationship or friendship with, to join you and to go and do some of these activities or that you can provide to them. Within brain injury recovery, social communication is huge. There's many of the deficits that people have after a brain injury, such as having short-term memory difficulties or becoming more easily fatigued, can be worked around, and you can plan for them, and they're not really going to have a big impact on your ability to develop and maintain your relationships. But social communication is huge. It can have a big effect on your ability to maintain relationships. So what does poor social communication look like? It can be confusing, disorganized speech, providing too much or too little information to someone, repeating yourself, not staying on topic during a conversation with another person, being in a situation where the listener's having to do most of the work to keep the conversation flowing, not recognizing nonverbal cues and emotions from the listener, and discussing socially inappropriate topics. In order to sort of counteract some of those social communication pitfalls and being able to communicate more effectively with people, look at really working on listening to and remembering what the other person is saying to you, taking turns, have that back and forth in the conversation, not interrupting, sharing your information accurately without rambling, being organized, doing that give and take with the speaker. Being aware of how what you're saying is affecting the other person. If you're saying something that is, you can see is really upsetting the other person, then you need to stop and repair that conversation. Making good eye contact, being friendly, relaxed, watching your body language as well as your partner's body language. With the words that we say is only a small part of communication. There's that nonverbal communication is huge. Considering what you say before you say it. Is it really a good idea to tell Sarah that sweater looks awful on her after she's just finished telling you that she was excited because she just bought it? Being aware of your audience, what you're going, the way that you speak with your buddies when you guys are out playing a game of catch or just hanging out at home is going to be very different than what you are going to say and how you're going to talk to your grandmother who you're visiting for the afternoon. So it's really important to be aware of your audience. I just want to finish by, sharing a quote that talks about, good friends help you find important things when you have lost them. Your smile, your hope, and your courage. And friendship is all about having those positive things and having somebody helping you through your rough times and sharing in the joy of your good times. I'm going to pass this over to Mindy and Chris.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you. So hi, I'm Mindy.
I'm Chris. Hello.
And we're going to be talking to you about the why, what, and how of sexuality, and that sexuality doesn't end after brain injury, it just changes. So why talk about sex? When reviewing the literature on sexuality after brain injury, the trends that have been highlighting the areas of education and needing more education and awareness in the rehabilitation support settings to enhance our clients' quality of life around sex. The World Health Organization states that sexuality is a central aspect of being human throughout life. Sexual health requires a positive and respectful approach to sexuality and sexual relationships, as well as the possibility of having pleasurable and safe sexual experiences, free of coercion, discrimination, and violence. At Dale Brain Injury Services, we utilize a WIM model, wellness, interpersonal skills, and meaningful activities, in order to provide a holistic care and support approach. When referencing WIM, we're looking at wellness, which highlights health and fitness, self-esteem, coping strategies, prescribed therapies, spiritual support, to name a few. Our interpersonal skills highlights social interactions, empathy, reflective reasoning, and our meaningful activities is anything meaningful, social, leisure, physical, or vocational activities. And although we have themes in each of these areas, they can generalize from one to the other depending on our client's rehabilitation goals. And sexuality can fall into any one of those areas depending on the support that our clients are looking for. So when speaking with our clients, trending requests have been around support in the areas of safe sex practices.
So as our population of our clients became younger in their early 20s, the request for support around safe sex practices increased. And we had some people coming into our agency that were just entering into sexual exploration. So it was very important for us to find ways to support them, not only with the physical how-tos and how to stay safe, but also with many other aspects of sexuality scope.
They've also been looking for support with personal sex aid devices.
So with the purchase of, or the support with the sex aid devices, we forwarded requests to the ethics committee at our agency, and then found it helpful to assist the clients with obtaining these by maybe transporting them or helping them with the internet to order them, and then educate them on safe use, safe cleaning, and storage and private use.
We also have provided some pregnancy support around providing education to our clients, developing some support plans for them, collaborating with other community supports, and just providing those check-ins, as well as healthy relationships.
With the healthy relationships, we have several clients that are in marriage situations and wanting to reestablish how to negotiate sex within the marriage. Also, many clients who are just dating and also looking for new partners and how to negotiate sex clearly. So what opportunities are we enhancing by exploring sexuality? So for the staff at our agency, by exploring this with the staff, we're encouraging them to put aside their own personal beliefs on sexuality and to also look at any preconceived notions they have about sexuality in people with acquired brain injuries or disabilities in general. With the agency itself, it's encouraging the agency to address it as a more holistic goal, so it's incorporated into our WIM goals. And recently we've been showing a movie within the agency at different areas and on sex and disability, starring Helen Hunt, this particular one. And we're trying to encourage questions to be generated by our clients to see what their needs are around the area of sexuality and how we can best support them. So also with families, we're enhancing our delivery of services to their family members by offering the opportunity to the broad scope of wellness. So we're incorporating sexuality into the wellness goal and the overall holistic plan of our care. In society, we're really trying to increase the presence of sexuality with ABI and disabilities in society and increase the acceptance and understanding and support out there. So how do we meet these needs, the needs of our clients? So the agency in general has been embracing sexuality as an essential aspect of overall rehabilitation, putting into the WIM goals, developing committees and groups. We're also collaborating with community professionals. We're bringing in the London Health Sciences Group, the London Health Unit, and they've been speaking to our staff and speaking to clients. We're trying to generate more questions from both staff and clients and have the community professionals address that. We brought in the Sexual Assault Center, and they've offered a lot of information and helped us generate education for our clients. And we've also developed resources for the clients. So we've developed them in the ways of print, audio, online, and staff advocates. With our print, we have a resource handbook, and this handbook incorporates many different aspects of the questions that we received from our clients. So that's including communication about sex, including safe sex how-tos, online dating, how to stay safe with that, online safety in general, and healthy relationship, which Susan's talked quite a bit about, so that's great. For the audio-visual, we've acquired a few videos from the Kenzie Research Institute, and professionals speak on these videos about certain aspects, and then they have couples there that discuss this and can demonstrate it if it's the focus of the client. And online, we have a few websites that we recommend to clients to explore. If they have certain questions, we try to tailor them to those websites. We've also have staff who've expressed comfort in addressing sexuality issues with clients. So we've developed sexual advocates, and we have one in each area of our programming and try to have them on every shift so someone can come and approach them and then forward their concerns to the ethics committee or to sexual advisory committee and then beyond if that's necessary.
And so under the teaching, mentoring, and educating, we provide training to all of our staff around how to facilitate positive interactions with our clients in one-to-one sessions and in group settings. And we look at discussions and how to generate discussions, problem solving, and generating action plans around intimate issues for our clients or groups. At times we may not have all the answers, but as Chris has mentioned, we have the Sexual Advisory Committee, so if a rehabilitation counselor is posed with a question, they can always bring it to the Sexual Advisory Committee, or they can bring a scenario to the Ethics Committee, and we all try to collaborate with all members of our multidisciplinary team to try to find the answers and support our clients with that particular issue. When working with the clients around the area of sexuality and in any area, we write things down for them. We keep information short and simple and manageable, depending especially on the level of cognitive functioning of that group or client. And we also tend to paraphrase and reframe information in order to ensure that we're understanding the needs in that situation or topic of discussion. With regards to our groups that we offer here at Dale Services, we have a men's sexuality group and a Women of Wonder group that are both provide educational components and promote open discussion and sharing in a safe environment. And what I mean by safe environment, it's that what I'm implying is that we have facilitators that remain consistent and the groups are considered closed. So that encourages rapport building, trust, and momentum from session to session. And these groups happen weekly, and they happen throughout the year, ongoing. They're very popular groups, and we have them in different programs of our agency. And with the information that's learned within the groups, at times we can then provide sessions in the community to integrate those skills learned throughout planned scenarios into real-life situations. And that's really meaningful for the client to then take that information or their plan and apply it into their everyday scenarios. Just for an example, we have one client that was currently in one of our programs that participated in our men's sexuality group on a weekly basis and really, really found it important to him to be able to express himself, feel comfortable, get answers to some of his questions around the whole sexuality piece. And when he was transferred to another part of our program, at that time they weren't offering that group. So he had advocated and stated that, you know, this is really important to me. And so with that being said, we were able to then offer an additional group, men's sexuality group, in that new program, and more of our male clients are able to participate in it. So we're always adapting and growing as an agency. Other groups that we offer from time to time that touch on sexuality are, we have a Shake It group, stress, anger, and anxiety, and even healthy living. So if you yourself are interested in a group of that nature, or even potentially work with someone one-on-one, you would need to go onto our website, www.daleservices.on.ca, and fill out an application, and then, or you can contact us directly as well, and all the information is on our website, because we have a lot of people living out on their own in the community that come and participate in our groups, and they seem to get a lot from that. So here we have a few websites that we find are very, very helpful for us. So the first one is the London Health Unit, and within that website we can seek information around sexual health education, promoting healthy decisions, providing opportunities for discussion around sexual health questions or concerns.
One of the fun programs they have on their website is a game called Adventures in Sex City. So in this game, you help the sex squad battle the evil sperminator. And as you move through the game, you're taught many different aspects of safe sex practices, and it's quite informative. So they keep developing new versions of that as well.
Mm-hmm. We also have the Sexual Assault Center, London, that offers on-site counseling for women and phone counseling for men, and their focus is around promoting justice, equality, fairness, looking at the interconnection, honesty, respect, and compassion. And another site that we use quite often is www.comeasyouare.com, and it's a community-based, longest-standing website, and they provide quality sexual education resources, books. You can purchase sex toys and DVDs from that site. And lastly is Sexuality and Disability, and it's a great website that accepts everyone, all orientations and disabilities, so we tend to utilize that site as well.
So to further our support of sex and ABI, we reached out to Monica Stam of Western University. She's currently a master's candidate there focusing on sex and ABI. To look through some of the literature and see what she could find about what's being done to further the field of sex and ABI. A couple of the studies she found were disability knowledge and attitudes and level of comfort among certified rehabilitation counselors. So some of the key things that came out of that were to really encourage the staff to basically fill out surveys on looking at their own attitudes towards sexuality, and also to look at any preconceived notions they might have had about sex and ABI and disability, sex in the rehab environment. So that was a great way to get them to kind of clear their own minds on that and come at the situation from a clear therapeutic stance.
Cool. So we're unfortunately missing a slide, so I'm just going to have to share the information on that slide with you now. So I just wanted to share some quotes with you that speak to the importance of addressing sexuality in the ABI population. Absence of sensation does not mean absence of feelings. Inability to move does not mean inability to please. Presence of deficits does not mean the absence of desire. Inability to perform does not mean the inability to enjoy. So these are really powerful statements that enhance the concept that sex doesn't end after brain injury, it does just change. And we wanted to offer this education module to bring forth more awareness that can support our clients in their rehabilitation journeys. Thank you. Cool. So we're wondering if anyone has any questions for us.
As Susan said, it takes a village to raise a community or to build a community, and we're curious with all the people who've joined us here today, what are some of the common themes or main themes that you find when addressing relationships after ABI? What are some of the common themes that come up that you would like to see addressed in the future, and see if we can answer any of those?
No questions? So you're more than welcome to email us, and our information was on the slides, or you can get more information from our websites. And again, from Dale's Brain Injury Services, we're www.daleservices.on.ca.
And St. Joseph's Healthcare Center is www.sjhc.london.on.ca. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today, and as Mindy was saying, if there's any questions after the fact, then please contact either of any of us, and we would be happy to do our best to answer those questions for you. Thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.